takeaways from the success of Soltopia was that it was likely going to be that we can have a smaller footprint response to it. However, we still want to make sure that depending on what the feedback is or the uptick or the chatter, if you will, from social medias and stuff that we kind of keep an eye on as it goes forward, we want to make sure that we can address anything that does take place. So I think the ordinance was a success, as well as the opportunities that you folks provided to the community to not be on Del Playa and Salvatore and have this wonderful festival. So I don't think the money is going to like kind of move from one place to another, but I definitely believe we're going to have a smaller footprint going forward. Thank you.
Final questions from the board? See, Jane, this is an introduction, so the public comments appropriate for this? Yeah, awesome. So we can have any public comment from either in person or on Zoom. Any Zoom hands? Okay. Well, last call. I will close out. Yeah, last call. I'll close out public comment. Well, thank you so much for coming by to come chat with us. And even though we're on the, overlooking some budget challenges, hopefully you'll be able to join us back here frequently in this room for our meetings.
All right. Well, thank you very much for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Of course, thank you. All right. Okay. Moving us along to agenda item 4.2, our community garden annual report by the Edible Campus program.
Wonderful. So I'm here with the Edible Campus program. I'd like to start by introducing my team as the slides come up on the screen. Do you all have the slides?
Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. So if my team can stand up, and we'll do just a quick round of introductions. So Paula, go.
Hi, I'm Paula. I'm the IVCSD Community Garden Coordinator.
I'm Giselle. I'm the Methodist Community Garden Coordinator.
I'm Sequoia. I'm also the Methodist Community Garden Coordinator.
Hello, everybody. My name's Connor. I'm the volunteer coordinator, so I work with our interns and community members to connect them to, keep our community gardens thriving throughout the year.
And I'm Dennis. I'm the lay leader at University UNC in Aberystwyth.
I'm James. I do the marketing and outreach for all the gardens.
I'm Tim Black. I'm the vicar of St. Michael's University Church. We have a very large garden presence there.
Thank you very much. If you want to sit down, actually, if you three want to stay standing for a moment. My name is Katie Maynard. I use she, her pronouns. I'm the Director of Student Sustainability Initiatives and Advisor for the Edible Campus program. And I'm going to keep our students up here just to talk through a few of our quick slides. So if you want to go to the next slide, and Giselle will take that away.
Hello, we're with Edible Campus program. I'm in partnership specifically with the University United Methodist Church. ECP manages the Uni IB Church and the community garden as well. We're also in partnership with IB Community Services District. Edible Campus program actually manages the IB Community Center garden where Paula is working. And it also staffs 4 other gardens in and around Isla Vista. That's St. Michael's, the Family Student Housing, West and Stork, I believe, and Greenhouse Garden Project as well. A big part of our goal has been to revitalize underutilized spaces by growing food in the community. And we also try to aim to provide free food to the neighborhood, and we offer year-round educational and outreach programs, and it's available to all members of the community in Isla Vista.
Next slide.
And then this year we've connected with a little over 2,700 students through our class announcements. It's essentially we're going into classes and talking and pitching on the Edible Campus program. We've engaged with 340 community members. That's both students and non-students, so that's families in the surrounding area as well, with workshops, volunteer events, and block parties. And we've mobilized over 1,000 volunteers. We've reached 617 non-student community members in these workshops, and we've hosted 267 events throughout this year.
If you want to sit, we'll do the next slide. I'll talk a little bit about our education team. We've continued to partner with Madre and Madre, so we do monthly workshops with them in Spanish primarily, but can go back and forth with between Spanish and English depending on what's needed at any given month. We also do workshops with Pescadero Lofts. We are also doing these approximately monthly for the community there, also bilingually. And then we also have done some workshops with Friendship Manor and actually help partner with the Community Affairs Board to help build some garden boxes at Friendship Manor this year. So that was our big exciting event. We also partnered with the associate students for the Isla Vista Green Project. We got a small grant from AS to be able to do a series of garden workshops in the Isla Vista community, primarily at the Methodist Garden, though we also rotated amongst a few others. And that was really wonderful to get more of a series feel to some of our workshops. We did that in winter and also in spring quarter. And then we did also a series of other one-off workshops as well throughout the year. And also did some partnerships with the Compost Collective, but we're going to talk about that in another slide. So go to the next slide, please. Wonderful. So I pass it to Sequoia.
Yeah, so using IVCSD funding, we were able to expand our relationship with Compost Collective. We were able to integrate compost from Compost Collective into our community gardens. So that has lowered our need for soil in our budget, and also that really helps keep the soil healthy and keeping the plants thriving. We've also been able to do joint workshops with Compost Collective and use our channels of outreach to further expand who has access and knowledge of these workshops.
And I do want to really underscore, we're just very thankful for the Ivy Community Services District Board for encouraging and supporting Ivy Compost Collective and being able to donate compost to our two gardens that are supported through the garden, the Methodist and Ivy Community Center, as well as supporting St. Michael's Community Garden as well. That donation of the compost has been really critical for us, so we just really appreciate your support in that way. Next slide.
So more focused on Methodist Community Garden. One of the big problems we've been having this year is that our garden beds are reaching their 8-year mark. So they do need to be replaced. The gophers have gotten in. So we've replaced 4 garden beds with 9 new beds, but that's about the same amount of growing space. I've also been able to research a lot of organic pest management, specifically aphids, and also working on disease control, specifically leaf curl. And we've also been able to form new partnerships with Engineers Without Borders, which is an on-campus organization who made a solar-powered irrigation system. Next slide.
At the Community Center, there are monthly workshops with Madre and Madre. I also had a workshop where you were able to harvest your own tea in collaboration with the yoga class. And then I've been finding root knot and pill bugs in the beds, and I have been able to use compost from Ivy Compost Collective to help replace the soil.
Perfect, thanks. And then Paula's also working on a guidebook for the next student who's going to be taking over for Paula at the end of June. And that's been really helpful because Paula's really been pioneering a lot of new organic practices that have helped us to address some of the issues that she mentioned. So thank you so much for that. Next slide. So I'm just going to touch base briefly on our budget. I also have Dennis here from the Methodist community, the Methodist Church, who can also speak to some of this as well. So we came right around what we expected to on the budget. We had originally proposed a budget of $35,000 to the board last year. That was not approved by the board. We only were approved for $30,000. So you will see that the numbers have decreased in our actual spend to match what was actually allocated from the board. So we came in right around the same as expected with staffing, though this is actually 2 months short of the year, so we had to supplement with other funding sources to get to the end of the year. We had a lower supplies budget substantially due to the decrease in budget, and then our water and trash costs went up a little bit this year, so we had to manage that, just changes with the cost from the Water District in Marburg. And then you'll see that total, we have hit that $30,000 spend for this year already. So the next slide. So this is our budget for next year. We really tried to keep it pretty similar. We are looking at reducing from 4 staff on the IVCSD budget to 3 staff because though we've not had any reductions in budget from the Ivy Community Services District, we have been funded for about 8 years and had pretty much the same budget for the full 8 years. And we just have increased, minimum wage has increased in the state, and that's required us to have higher wages. So we are looking at 3 staff next year instead of 4 on the budget to stay at that $30,000 mark. We have included a small supplies budget. As Sequoia mentioned, we are losing some of the beds and we anticipate needing to replace a few of them next year. So that's still in the budget. And then the water and trash costs again, for that same total of $30,000 to come back to you with the same request. And I think that's our last slide, unless it's just a question slide. Yeah, great. So at this point, please feel free to ask any questions that you may have. I'm also happy to extend it to our whole team if there's questions you have of any of our team members today.
Yeah, no, thank you so much for coming by. Definitely, the gardens are something that I definitely cherish in IB, and I sometimes see you guys working out there. I know in your earlier slide about some stats talking about the impact you've had on campus and in IB. Do you have any information about the impact like in IB separate from campus?
We can provide those numbers for you if you want to keep any of the campus numbers out of it. We do track that, so I'd be happy to share that if you would like.
Yeah,
I will say that none of our workshops are further than right the corner of Stork and El Colegio, or about a block up St. Just like a block up the main road here. So it's not, when we say not IB, it's only like a block away from IB for the campus ones. We're don't do almost any events on main campus. Our events are all at those gardens.
Wonderful.
If you need that info, I can provide more detailed numbers.
Yeah, no, that'd be awesome. And thank you all for coming by today and for all the work you do on the garden, being my trusty supply of herbs. Yeah, thanks, guys. Any public comments, either in person or on Zoom? Do you have any Zoom hands? No.
Oh, yeah, I'll say something quickly. I mean, the community center garden is looking absolutely fabulous. I get compliments all the time from community members talking about how excited they are. I love the engagement that you all do with the programming, with Madre a Madre, with the yoga class. That is so awesome. And I know there's lots of pests there, so it's really cool to hear that you guys are doing organic responses to that. And I mean, I have absolutely loved working with Katie in this past year and seeing all the amazing work that you guys are able to do. So thank you for all of your work and thanks for involving us.
Alrighty. Oh, yes.
Well, I will just say I got to volunteer in the gardens. It feels like almost a year ago now because it was alumni day of service last year, and got to go over to St. Mike's and help to water the plants, to move some soil, turn some compost, and it was just a really great experience. And I love that you are able to make such great use of volunteers and just the desire that people in the community have to want to give back, to want to learn about gardening, learn about sustainable practices. So really happy with all the work that you're doing. Really thankful to the partnership from the faith community for putting up these spaces and letting the community kind of use it as a blank canvas and, you know, really activating it. Bringing people into the spaces, I think that is really special, and it's just a really unique and special part of this partnership.
Maybe on that, Dennis, do you want to stand for a moment and just say a little bit about what it's done for your congregation?
Oh, very much so. And Pastor Martin and those of us at the Union IB are greatly appreciative of the growth and the progress over these. I think it was 2017 that we initially began by petitioning a grant, and we're greatly appreciative of the community as well as the student involvement. And the volunteers have been great. Sequoia and Giselle have been doing a great job leading our volunteers during our once a quarter Saturday morning live times, where we've had a chance to host them and see them actively participate during those times. So thank you for your support. We greatly appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, I've been here a little, almost 2 years this November, and my first Sunday, Katie Maynard sat down and said, you know, we want to build some more garden boxes. And I said, well, you had me at garden boxes. Yes. And so a big priority for us at St. Michael's is being a church that's embedded in the community and that is a part of the community and that people think of as a part of the community. And so this has really helped us make a lot of headway in that, getting to know students, getting to know people from the community, and being able to work on these gardens together. So we're just really grateful, and I'm really grateful just to be able to walk into this kind of paradise of volunteerism. So I'm just really grateful for the energy here and for your continued support.
Well, we have no further questions, not cutting anyone off. Let me see, we have, so having action items for this, so I just wanted to thank you all again for coming, for the wonderful work you do for our environment, both human and our more than human environment. That's definitely appreciated in the right spot of Ivy. Thank you. Thank you. All righty, we can there move us on to our rental housing mediation and legal advice annual reports. Fantastic. And gardens to housing.
Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you.
You.
All right, well, Sydney is gonna present this report. It's gonna be the best annual report for this program ever because this is the first full year of it operating at its fully restructured, new and improved system. So, and we have our two new mediators and legal advisor on the call too. So I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you. Yeah, I would love to, before I start and jump in, let Arno and Cesar introduce themselves. Arno, do you want to kick us off? Give you a second.
I'm Arno Jaffe. I get to be the legal advisor for IVCSD. It's among the best times of my days when I get a chance to help students and landlords alike. I think the program offers so much. We've done a little outreach with flyering, and I hope to do more with Cesar. And it's very, very well received. I've gotten lots of nice feedback, especially when I will do follow-ups after I've initially talked to people, and they appreciate the follow-up and they appreciate the support of IVCSD.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Cesar Berrier. I'm the mediator of the program, and it's both a privilege and a responsibility to stand before today to account for the work that we have carried out on behalf of Isla Vista community. I think the program is very successful, and you can see that more than half of the mediations that we are conducting, they are reaching an agreement that is mutually beneficial for the parties. And I think this program is growing and is a great success.
Thank you both. Yeah, I'm very grateful for both of them. They have brought this program to where it's its fullest potential. So I'm very excited to share what that looks like. So jumping in, we can go to the next slides here. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about our program mission, this year's goal, board goal, as well as the growth in metrics. Thanks to Erica, our data intern, for compiling all of that, and then some of the outreach and education efforts that we've been up to. So just a little reminder, at its core, this program is focused on housing stability. We know housing conflict can be super stressful. Students often come to us very overwhelmed, and it can be expensive. So our goal is to provide a trusted, neutral resource that helps people resolve issues before they escalate. Next slide. So this year's board goal was to increase utilization of the rental housing mediation program by long-term tenants and families, which I'll talk a bit about towards the end of this presentation. but looking at our cases, so I have no idea why 88 is so small, but this year we've received 88, or excuse me, in 2025, we've received 88 requests. And this just shows the previous year, so 38 and 37 in 2024. So next slide. That's over 100% increase, 137% actually. And just to be super clear, this data is just for 2025, not for the full fiscal year. Moving forward, you'll see fiscal year data, but just wanted to note that. We'll go to the next slide. So that breaks down to 35 mediation requests. And of that, we've had 12 mediations that have occurred last year. Doing a little bit of a deeper dive into those 12, next slide. Of those 12 cases, 7 cases reached an agreement, 4 required follow-up mediation sessions, and no Spanish interpretation was requested. Interestingly, in some cases, just the prospect of mediation has helped move things forward. So we saw situations where parties were compensated and the impacted person before mediation even took place. And then even in cases where a full agreement wasn't reached, mediation still kind of created that movement, whether that meant better treatment, improved communication, or additional compensation after that conversation. So when it felt like there was still a path forward toward resolution, CESAR encouraged parties to come back and have another session, and those have been super valuable to kind of keep those conversations going. And unfortunately, when it's clear that it can't be, an agreement can't be reached, we do recommend small claims court, and oftentimes that's when Arno is consulted on kind of how to go down that path. So we get the best of both worlds when we have 2 people on our team. Looking at our legal advice, we've had 77 legal advice requests, and of those 53 legal advice were provided cases. And just so you know, these are duplications. So when someone's filling out our form, they get to select multiple things. And sometimes they speak with Arno first and then meet with CESAR, vice versa, or just one of them handles the case. It just depends on kind of what it is that the issue is that we're looking at. So next slide. Who's requesting support? So tenants are the primary users of this program. We are seeing a bit of an uptick with property providers and landlords. We've to date, including this year, we've had 9 landlords reach out to us. So that's definitely an area of growth that I'm excited to continue exploring. For that other section, you're looking at kind of prospective tenants, people getting ready to move to Ivy and have some questions about their leases, and other housing mediation agencies. And then the other buckets are roommates, subleasees, and sublessors, and a lot of parents as well. And then the other party's role, of course, you can imagine, is 72% landlord and property provider, a few roommates, tenants, and sublessors. So the nature of our issues that we're seeing. So for living conditions, for lease agreements, that was the hot topic this last year for us. These tend to include lease reviews. So Arno has read, I want to say, probably every property provider's lease at this point. And what's kind of cool is we are compiling all of that. So we have copies of all of the leases. So it's been valuable, especially when we're looking into parking agreements for some of these providers. So that's been very valuable. But early lease termination, subleasing, a lot of security deposit questions, of course, and then some roommate and household agreements. But a lot of people just reach out simply trying to understand what they signed, what their rights are and obligations are, and then what options they have moving forward. I will say that Arno does a beautiful job of not only empowering people, but also giving them the skills that they need to be heard by their property provider as well. He does that fabulously. And then living conditions is also up there, and we commonly hear about things you would expect: mold, leaks, water damage, plumbing issues, a lot of poor maintenance, response times, things like that, general habitability. And sometimes these cases involve questions around tenant rights, fears of retaliation is a big one, or uncertainty about what it's the landlord's responsibility to fix and what's the tenant's responsibility. And then moving on from there, communication problems, security deposit, and noise disturbances. So people keep hearing about the program primarily from word of mouth, sprinkled with some housing organizations. We have a great partnership with IVCSD, some Google searches. A new one that's been coming in this year is AI. That's how people are hearing about us. And some in the other category, that's the City of Santa Barbara Mediation Program. They're referring people to us. Obviously UCSD and community-based referrals and prior awareness of the service. We've had a few people come back a couple of times actually for mediation and legal advice. So the trends throughout the year tell a pretty clear story about the student housing cycle in IB. So July tends to bring move-out challenges, especially security deposits and lease-related questions. And then October reflects kind of what happens once people are living together. So that's roommate issues, maintenance concerns, kind of where the communication starts to break down around that time. So that's kind of that increase. And our average resolution time is about 16 days. There's definitely a range depending on the situation. So some are solved super quick. Arno can answer questions pretty quickly, same with Cesar, and others are resolved. It takes a long time to set a mediation when you have a lot of different parties. So usually that's kind of that 2+ weeks, especially if they're having multiple mediation sessions. We get kind of an array of urgency requests. And I just want to highlight how on top of it Arno and Cesar are. I'll send them a inquiry that we receive and they respond within usually the same day, but definitely within 24 to 48 hours. And I feel like that responsiveness really matters, especially in these stressful housing situations that we're hearing about. So I'm super grateful for all that they do. Program satisfaction. So something we started doing when we revamped the program is we started formally tracking satisfaction last year. So while it's a very small sample size of just 10 people that have filled out the survey, it's encouraging to see that average so high. And I think it also, the feedback of the program is that it's helping people through difficult and high stress situations. So even them just taking the time to fill out the survey is really helpful, and it just validates the approach of this revamp of having 2 different separate people responding to these. And I think it's just important for mediation to be accessible in our community, including legal advice as well. So just a couple things we're hearing on the feedback survey is, I'll just read one of them. I didn't get to meet with you guys in the end, but I know it would have helped ease tension and made sure the situation was fair for everyone. I would love to later use this service in the future if I have future inquiries. Now looking at our board goal. So we've expanded the program to include free legal advice and Spanish language access. Both Arno and Cesar are bilingual in Spanish, and we've conducted targeted canvassing. They both have been out in the community reaching beyond our student population. They've gone out to all of our families and their Spanish-speaking residents to talk with them. We've increased participation and valuable feedback from landlords and property providers. But I think something that's still in progress is the increased use of program by families. That's something I still want to focus on. I think a lot of the work that Maya and Labney are doing is helping reach those families and tell them about the program. So that's definitely helping as well. And this is just a rundown of kind of what we've done this last year in terms of outreach efforts. So we participate in UCSD Blum Center's Quarterly Housing Coalition. We've been on a few panels. We've tabled at every single, thanks to Faye, every single UCSB rental housing fair that's happened. And like I said, Arno and Cesar have gone out and did some targeted canvassing and outreach to Spanish-speaking residents. We continuously update the mediation and legal advice intake form to improve data collection and accessibility. That's been really helpful this past year. And we're always strengthening our partnerships. And that's it. I'm happy to answer any questions. And so are Cesar and Arno.
Thank you so much. And thank you so much for joining us on Zoom. It's lovely to put a face to the name. My only question that I had was if our next board goal could be to reach more diverse audience, but you were already on that. You're already on that. So I'm just very happy that we have this program and happy that it's being utilized. And looking for even more utilization in the future. If you have any board comments, questions? Yeah.
Well, all my questions are going to be for attorneys, but I would just want to say at the outset that, like in the past, all my questions have been for you, because the program has been valuable for a long time, but had not had the scale to make as big of an impact. So I know in years past, we spent most of the time just talking about outreach, and I just really have to compliment how great of a job you and the team have done to perform that outreach to where it's actually affecting behavior and getting people in the door, in the queue. And I think that that is really significant. It's a big change. So my question for either one of our legal assistance attorneys is a couple. First, this last year, the county implemented a rental inspection program, and I'm just really curious if you can speak about any cases that came across our desk that are related to it. Did we find that program to be helpful at driving better outcomes for some of the habitability requests?
I think from my end, I haven't had any specific cases, but the fact that it's there, I think, gives the tenants a great degree of comfort and gives them another area at which they can seek resolution of problems.
Yes, and I believe that for the tenants is very good. In recent mediations, it was mentioned this aspect of the inspections. So I think that they're benefit from that.
That's really helpful to know. And I guess like what makes me wonder is when we do get, complaints or people, tenants that are making outreach, or maybe it's property managers, I don't know, about habitability related issues. Well, like what kinds of issues are this? Are these pests? Is it mold? Is it something more than that? And is the nature of the concern about who's responsible? Is it about how is it going to get resolved? I mean, what is that? I just saw that was a pretty big part of the pie chart. So I'm just curious to just hear some more color to that.
A lot of what I hear from students in their inquiries relate to pests. Mold is probably the biggest. Response time from landlords seems to be very frustrating for a lot of students. And trying to spark better communication. There are some landlords that we've seen are particularly difficult to deal with, and others are extremely collegial and positive. But again, I think knowing that there's a place that they can go to begin to get some constructive advice, and then to be able to follow it up with CESAR being able to mediate when mediation is called for, is very positive. We feel like kind of two armed swords, or two swords armed or something, double coverage.
Yes, we seen cases related with mold and pests, and well, it is very interesting to see the parties having these conversations in which, in the beginning, maybe they don't trust very much each other, but while they continue in the conversation, they can see that there are aspects in which they can compromise and maybe reach some kind of agreement of different sorts. Sometimes repairing the situation, or sometimes with some kind of monetary compensation.
And sometimes too, the students don't realize the power that they have. The tenants don't realize the power that they have, and being able to inform them of options that they can deal with, and ways in which they can advocate for themselves with their landlords is something that's been very positive, as taught by CESAR and myself.
And I'll just also note that in addition to that, we always send the county's code enforcement or code inspection enforcement website so that people can make their complaint to them directly. And we've seen a lot of that, and there's been attempted many times. So
okay, excellent. Well, thank you for that. That's helpful to hear.
Would you be able to speak to either us or lovely attorneys, what the landlords are reaching out to us about? I mean, I can kind of imagine the tenants' complaints, but what about the landlord side?
Yeah. Cesar or Anna, do you want to take that?
On my end, most of the landlords that have reached out are people that aren't agencies, they're individual property owners, and they're not sure if they want to raise the rent, how early in the tenancy they can begin that kind of communication. Many of them, even though it's their leases, want some lease interpretation. What do things mean? And those are the things that I've seen.
Thank you, that's very helpful.
From what I've heard from some landlords who I've talked to about it, they like it to resolve the roommate issues because they don't want to deal with that. They at least like it's there for that. Maybe they haven't used it, but
That makes sense.
they deal with a lot of roommate issues.
Yeah, we sometimes see that they are concerned about the relationship between the roommates, and sometimes they reach out and we try to help in that situation. That it's very important, it's usually urgent too.
Thank you. Forward comments, questions, or public comment? Oh, sorry.
I just wanted to comment that it's very exciting to see this program working so well. And we've certainly had a vision about this for a long time. And I feel like we're really taking off and doing some good work. So thank you both for working with us. And you're really making a difference. Thank you.
We get great input and support from Sydney. She's on it.
Yeah, we're fans of hers too.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Sydney.
Thank you both. Appreciate it.
Do you have any public comment from in-person or Zoom? Yeah.
Hi, board. Hi, everyone. Good to see you all. I'll reintroduce myself quickly. My name is Noah Lukin. This coming year, I'll be serving as Vice President of Local Affairs with Associated Students. I really want to work on housing. So this program is great. I'm excited to continue to collaborate and work alongside you all. My question is, has there been any coordination, even if just for outreach purposes, with this program and Iowa Attendance Union, IVTU, which is an AS entity?
Yeah, we work a lot with them simultaneously, whether they refer, we refer to them. So we have a great working relationship with them as well.
Awesome.
And I'm excited to talk with you more about the Rate My Landlord.
Yes, 100%.
And how we can promote that.
Yeah, I'm sure there are a lot more conversations to be had between us all, so I'm excited for that.
Fantastic. Yeah, thanks for coming. Any other in-person on Zoom? My board? Yeah. All righty. Well, we can move along. Thank you again for coming by. It was wonderful to hear from you and to meet you, and thank you again for doing this fantastic work for our 98% renter community. So very needed. Yeah, sure. Good numbers. All righty. Get to our community programs and engagement annual report.
We're gonna switch the share screen. Oh, switch. Oh, you're a
I'm
co-host.
ready.
You're a co-host. Oh my gosh.
I was ready.
There's a video.
It's a really good video.
Oh, there is a video.
It's a really
Watch
good video.
that. I'll talk about it in our civic leadership initiative, but it is fabulous. I didn't make it. It's really good. Well,
Commissioned it. Yeah.
all right. Hi everyone. I've got a lot of slides, so I'm gonna talk fast. Just tell me what you want to pull at the end and what you want me to slow down on. Okay? So, community programs and engagement. We are a big department. I'm going to talk a little bit, or a small department, big task. So I'm going to talk a little bit about what that looks like. And in general, the report structure is going to look at data and existing conditions, and then looking ahead at all the different aspects that we look at. So to give you an overview of our team, it's me. I've got Labney and Ellie, which are our project managers in their respective areas. And we have one intern who is Lily. She's fabulous. But that mighty team of 4 oversees 5 programs, 5 communication channels, and outreach implementation for the entire district. So we are very busy. Little overview of our department budget for all of those different things. Our 2 strategic goals that we primarily look at are 1, making sure Isla Vista is safe, healthy, and enjoyable for everyone, especially on those high traffic weekends. And 2, that civic engagement is meaningful, inclusive, and shapes our decision-making as a district. So first, when we're talking about community programs, today I'm going to be looking at community spaces and community festivals. But as a reminder, in the past, I've already talked to you about the Survivor Resource Hub, and then you heard about our community gardens a little bit earlier. This is a link to that report. So talking about community spaces data, we've got some exciting numbers to go through. So we've had 850 total events, which, by the way, before I get into this, we are starting to look at this program by fiscal year instead of year. So you'll see a little bit of range in that data from typical reports. So overall, we've had a 58% increase in paid reservations, but we still have a ton of free ones. So that's important to see in the corner. The most big increase that we've seen this year is with our community room usage. So a lot more paid reservations in this space, which leads to a 60% increase in revenue. So even though the space is being utilized a little bit more, we're seeing a lot of revenue even while keeping a lot of free events. Users are generally pretty satisfied with our services, which is great to see. We've also seen an increase in the number of attendees that we see at our events compared to last fiscal year, and also more families in IV participating in our events than in years past. Our vending machine, I'm looping in as part of our community spaces. We've seen a slight dip in our utilization this year. Could be a lot of different things. We're hypothesizing that it could be potentially due to discontinuation of Plan B, which is not something that we chose. It was due to federal budget cuts. Pacific Pride Foundation is absolutely amazing to work with, and they've been trying to offer birth control instead. And then we've also started a quarterly safe needle drop off in the community in order to provide more resources for us. Looking ahead for the community spaces, we have an immediate need of a new calendar system. There is insane demand for our spaces, which is absolutely amazing. It means that people know about it, and that's what we like. And our calendar system is not equipped for it. And Labney is working her tail off to use what we got, but it is something that we immediately need to look into. And in a future need, I would say we really need to update our kitchen in order to make it more commercially liable for some of the events that we have, like weddings and other things. Looking into community festivals. So I've talked a lot about Soultopia in a previous report, so we're looking pretty high level at some engagement data, diving a little deeper. Overall, 3 out of our 5 top posts did not have ads on them, which is actually a really big change from what we've seen in years past. It means that we're getting increased awareness of our communications without pushing more money into it. We've reached over like 90 accounts in this time period, which is over 100% average from our typical. And just in this month, we have 878 new followers. But we put out 209 pieces of content in that time. It takes a lot of staff time and effort in order to get numbers like this. It is not something that we can just snap our fingers and do. So in that, I wanted to just kind of point out how much time that takes. Our CE staff spend about 90% of their time creating content, and our community program staff spend about 80% of their time on outreach and logistical support. That's over 340 hours that our team spent to make this possible, not even including the time that I put in to do these things as well. But we did have record-breaking engagement. This will lead you back to the other report if you want to learn a little bit more about it. Oh. No, thank you. Okay, looking ahead for community festivals, specifically talking about Soultopia. More support all year long. We do not have 3 months this time. We have 12, and I need some help. Our event leads, I would love to keep the 9 total. That was a great number, but I really would like to have them all year long. Recruiting in the fall, building some traction, and then hiring winter through spring. This year, they basically only work spring quarter at 5 to 7 hours a week. I'd like to get that up to 10 hours a week longer, and I would like to keep them after the event, not just till the day of. That way I can also have feedback surveys and actually collect more input throughout the community. Our staff is recuperating, so it's really difficult to do that in our staff. I'm also introducing a part-time community festival outreach coordinator role, which I think will drastically help our reach and impact in the community. This is someone we could hire in August. They would do business outreach, sponsorships, partner outreach, volunteer recruitment, and support our outreach efforts with our event leads. And then, of course, in order to continue to make this event possible, we do need continued partnership from AS and UCSD. Moving forward to community engagement, we're talking about CLE and just broad community engagement. So a little recap about what the Civic Leadership Initiative is. It's got 3 parts: our Community Ambassador Program, which is our volunteers that commit 10 hours a quarter. We have our course, which is the intersection of local government and community advocacy. And then we have our independent projects, which is something new that we just launched this year. So looking at the Community Ambassador Program, we saw a big decrease in our volunteers for this program this year. And I think there's a couple reasons why. One, this program needs a lot of outreach and oversight time in order to recruit volunteers. And with our focus being primarily on parking in Soltopia during these key outreach months, we see a really clear dip in the numbers. To maintain good levels for this program, I really do think we need to look at a dedicated staff member just to support the outreach, aside from content and aside from oversight. Our course, we saw a pretty consistent amount of applicants and people who took the course, but we saw a lot more diversity. This year, we launched a program with Santa Barbara City College's Work Experience Program. So not only did UCSB students get course credit, but so did SBCC. And we definitely saw that in our numbers. We had a greater diversity of both different kinds of students working alongside each other. And 7 of these students, 7 of the 18, went on to complete independent projects. So if you came a little early and saw the incredible work that they were able to do, it's a really short timeline, which I would like to consider extending next year. But in 6 weeks, I think people learned a lot about what's actually possible and how much planning it takes and how much communication it takes to solve social problems in our community. So that was really cool to see. And that's the video. If you watch the video.
Let's play the video. Let's play the video.
No, you said not play the video.
No,
Play the
let's
video.
play. I think
Okay,
everybody wants it.
everyone
Everybody
pause.
wants it.
I will play the video. Shout out to, his name is John Bang. He's a fantastic videographer. Here we go.
Hopefully it works.
Leadership Initiative empowers Isla Vista residents. Oh my God, I can't.
Oh wait, here, I'll play it on mine. Let me play it on mine. Turn off your It's just a small hiccup with how Zoom works. Here we go.
Empowers Isla Vista residents to take action, build leadership skills, and create meaningful change in their community. My name is Maya Mashadi Ali Reza. I'm the Community Programs and Engagement Director at the Isla Vista Community Services District. And this is our Civic Leadership Initiative. Whether you're new to community work or ready to lead, CLE offers 3 pathways to grow your civic engagement. Volunteer with us, take our course, or do both.
I learned so much about Isla Vista, all the different initiatives, how people are supporting different resources, how to get help within different services. It's been intensely helpful to understand how much is put into the small things that you see within this community. And it's been a great time. I recommend anyone to join the Leadership Initiative.
This program was absolutely amazing, and I learned so much about Isla Vista as a whole, and I'd absolutely recommend. It's an amazing way to get involved, meet new people, and just find out things about your city that you didn't know before. So yeah, I'd recommend this to anyone.
I'm Pedro Sosa. I was part of the Community Civic Leadership Initiative here at IVCSD. It was a very fascinating experience. Learned a lot about the history of Isla Vista and the problems that this community faces and why they are problems to begin with, and how you can tackle them not only in this community, but also how you can take this knowledge into other communities as well. So I would highly recommend taking a look at this course and joining and being a part of it.
Hey, my name is Samantha. I am a STEM major, and it was really awesome being in this program and learning about things that are not quite STEM oriented, but are totally applicable to the community, and felt really empowering to learn about how the systems of Isla Vista work and how I can make a change. Beyond learning about all my STEM things, there's more than STEM that I can apply to make a change to Isla Vista. So I really enjoyed this program.
The course would be really beneficial for anyone who's interested in local public policy, for people who notice the issues that we have around here in Ivy and want to know not just what they can do, but how they can help and make a difference.
Yeah, I completely agree with my experience. I've learned so much about the history and the actual actions that are taking to fix our problems, and they provide a pathway for students, SBCC and UCSB students to make some change.
We are so excited to kick off this new program and to see what this cohort can do for the Isla Vista community. If you want to learn more about the Civic Leadership Initiative in Isla Vista, visit our website, ilavistacsd.ca.gov. I agree. Thank you for having me. So our fabulous program, looking ahead. So Another really big success of this program is that we've gotten 2 staff members from it, actually. So Nico is starting with us as a full-time public works project manager. He did the community ambassador program and was a CLE graduate of the class, and now he's a full-time staff member with us. And then Erica is our data intern. She actually did CLE last year. So we can see that the program is working and doing exactly what we want it to do, which is inspire people to get involved in their community, whether for an independent project or to work on our team. So in order for this program to continue to be successful, we do need adequate staff time and support as we grow our operational needs. And so this is where I propose another idea, which is to make that outreach coordinator full-time. So not just somebody who's coming in to help with the festival, but someone that we keep on year-round that has a much greater breadth of outreach needs, and we'll be able to have consistent staff support to help for recruitment and maintenance of this program, because it does take a lot. Looking at community engagement broadly, data and existing conditions. So we've had 6 campaigns this year, 3 we've completed and 3 are currently in progress. And I'll just say that successful campaigns take time. Like I said, it takes about 100 to 200 pieces of content across those 5 communication platforms. And we only have 1.25 staff member dedicated to it. That's 1 full-time and 1 intern. And all of our programs, not only the ones that I'm talking about in this presentations, but everything that Jenna's doing, everything that Sydney's doing, all has extensive education and awareness needs. So measuring awareness. Contact us. That's how many times people reach out to us on our website. We've seen a 50% increase with 200 requests in 2025. And we've seen steady and great news coverage with 91 news articles about us last year. We've had a 56% increase in Instagram followers. And like I mentioned earlier, we had 1.3 million was our peak views this fiscal year, thanks to Soultopia. Website metrics are consistent from last year. We saw double the amount of foot traffic in April than we normally do, which is already a lot, but our demographics and everything else has remained consistent. Constant contact, these are the mass email things that go out. We had a 281% increase in email subscribers, thanks to Soultopia again. Brand audit. So this has been something we've been talking about for a couple of years and trying to make time for, and it's something that I feel really proud of the place that we're in today. We have created a consistent brand identity. Our brand is approachable, accessible, recognizable, and Isla Vista centered. I've just put a little bit of information here about the primary palette and secondary palette we use, plus our fun little spin-offs that we have with some of the different programs and campaigns that we do. Looking ahead for community engagement, a growing district needs a growing communication team. We continue to add on more programs and projects, which are amazing for our community, and they require a lot of work to make sure that the community is reaching those programs the information that they need. So it's important that we have enough staff to do so in a timely, accessible, and consistent way. Content creation demand continues to multiply year after year. While CE intern and volunteer efforts are helpful, they're not enough to resolve the core issue, was that time needed for growing communication needs takes away from time that we're doing outreach. So all this content, all this information that we need to get out also is going to take away from how much we can actually be in the community at the same time. And so those are 2 potential solutions that I would like you all to consider. One, which is that full-time outreach coordinator that I've already mentioned, which would suit both the festival needs and other needs that we're starting to see. And or a content outsource budget. So what I mean by this is that we do some bigger projects, for example, like the video just saw, which is a little bit of a higher level, but we can outsource them so that our team isn't worrying about those campaigns. So we're already trying this model with some survivor resource videos, like taking longer projects and outsourcing them to someone who's not on our team so our team can focus on day-to-day as well. So looking at our strategic goals and outcomes. So for strategic goal number 1, we've made great progress on a lot of these things. So everything that you see in bold, these are things that we're not just going to snap our fingers and they're magically going to be resolved overnight, but they're things we're actively making a lot of progress in. You'll see that the improved perception of safety in Isla Vista is italicized because we're currently surveying right now to see how and what that looks like with our budget survey. When it comes to our SMART goals, we've done a lot of them, or they're in progress. We've expanded the Spring Festival. We created a comprehensive flow chart of how interpersonal violence approaches work in our community. Things that are in progress are that safety perception, which I already talked about, the public safety plan, which we're actively working on bringing to IB Safe, evaluating non-sworn public safety resources, which is something else that we're looking into right now, and then launching formal partnerships with our interpersonal violence partners. For strategic goal 2, again, I'm really happy to say that everything bolded are things that we're making extremely good progress on. The only thing that is not bolded is those participation in volunteer-led operations, which I did talk to you all about. Our SMART goals are also in a great place as well. The only things here that are still in progress is reaching 25% of our websites and physical outreach materials being bilingual. Again, I do think this is something that a full-time coordinator could help with, especially because a requirement of that job would definitely be that they need to be bilingual. But Labney in her spare time is doing everything she can to support. And then also the state of the district report is in progress as well. In summary, our small but mighty team is actively making progress on our district strategic goals. In order to maintain the high communication standards we have, we need to consider more staff support. And our department's focus this year will be to maintain and refine existing internal operations and to expand community involvement in these district initiatives. And that's all. Well, it's a lot, but as quick as I can do it. Thank you. Any questions or comments?
I'll start out. I mean, again, we can't sing your praises enough. Also, I want to make PowerPoints like this. Just an aside note.
Me too.
Right? Like, doesn't this look great? So about content creation, one of our strengths is that we have a very IB specific touch. So if we use like outsourcing, what does that relationship look like to keep the IB specific touch?
The projects that I would outsource are primarily long form video content. So kind of like our Welcome to IB video that we put out this year, which I did think was really effective. The goal with the long form video is to have really detailed content people can go look at, that we get to refine the script. So we would be working really directly with whoever's creating it to create a script, and very specific requirements of what that video will look like. So I pull very specific example videos of maybe video essays that I think are really engaging, or things that I think are really popular in Isla Vista. We can look at that data online, and making sure that the cuts for reels, so taking that long form video, making it real approachable, so having those short form content and making sure that those are really engaging and have something every like 2 blinks, that there's something on the screen. And those are the ways that we make content internally, and so those are the same requirements that we would put onto somebody else as well. Awesome. And I would probably strive to find someone that is local to Isla Vista to do so.
We've got a lot of creatives. Fantastic. And then this outreach coordinator, I know you were talking about the full-time person for Soultopia. This is the same person, just okay.
So yeah, the option 1, part-time, just focused on Soultopia. Okay. But all year long. Second option would be full-time, focused Soultopia and civic leadership initiative, recruiting volunteers, helping oversee that program and training. It would be both.
Okay.
And when I say civic leadership initiative, yes, that's a big part of it. And like all the other outreach things, like helping with tabling schedules, being out in the community as well, helping support canvassing. A lot of these things are things that my content creators, they have some time for, and I try to maximize it as much as possible. But having someone dedicated to it, we would be able to do so much more than we're already doing.
Right. So thank you. Those are all my questions. If any more from the board?
Well, I have a number of comments that I'll save till later on that in particular. But I did have one question, which is, you mentioned that because of federal cuts, we're not able to obtain Plan B for the vending machines. Have we looked into if there's anything that we can do to direct purchase ourselves, or maybe find another supplier for that product?
So I know Pacific Pride Foundation has looked for other suppliers through their navigation channels and what they've done. We have not yet done that. I don't know if there's any legal things about us purchasing Plan B. So we could allocate funding in that budget to do so.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested in that. I mean, it seems just from the data that seemed to be a really critical piece for utilization and something that's important to the community. So just one more piece of feedback.
Yeah, definitely that plan B, I'm hearing from word of mouth, because I did tabling at the beginning of the year, partly advertising this vending machine, and that's what people were most excited about every single time, especially because you're like, is the vending machine open at 4 a.m.? Yes, it is. You know, some more time sensitive medications. But I'd love that recommendation to look into that ourselves.
And then, given my role in the finance committee, I'm wondering what kind of budget you're going to present to the committee, and how all these bits and pieces of additional need add up to a dollar amount. Do you have a sense of that at this point?
Yes, so I have some rough estimates in here of what they might cost. So the coordinator role, both part-time and full-time, I am proposing that is a level below the project manager full-time role, so it will not be the same. I'm anticipating that it'll be less, and I'm gonna give you the same options for the finance committee, a part-time role, a full-time role, and I mean, we're doing our zero-based budgeting, so we'll just see what we can fit in based on what we have. I'm seeing where we can make cuts in other areas to potentially support this type of role, because I do think it maximizes impact in so many different other ways that we do in all of our other services. So I'll be kind of looking into that and seeing if there's any underspending this year and where we could potentially move that into this. I am concerned though about how much money we're actually gonna have to be able to make some of these happen, just transparently. There's some things we can move around, but
Well, they're all certainly very compelling, and the work that you're doing is just so awesome. So we certainly are very much in support of it.
thank you. I'll do my best.
You always do.
I believe in you. You've done crazy, amazing things before, so I'm excited to see what crazy, amazing things you'll do next. No pressure.
Thank you.
Any other public comment here on Zoom person? Zoom hands. Zoom hands are not raised. Okay. Well, with that, so I'm not cutting anyone. Oh, yes.
I just wanted to make the comment just on the staffing augmentation that I know this is definitely something that would be a priority, I think, for all of us. I mean, your department is like literally working miracles. And I think that in order for that to be sustainable in the long term, we need to make sure that you have the capacity, the people power to be able to sustain that. And so my piece of feedback, I'm not on the finance committee, but my piece of feedback both to the finance committee and to you is to bring like a robust proposal that has all, you know, the options so that it can be weighed, you know, and not preemptively limit yourself one way or another. Because I think, I mean, for me, this is a priority. I think for a lot of people it is.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely agree on all those sentiments. Yeah, I mean, for the person who pulled off Soultopia, you know, definitely be in support and more resources for you.
Thank you. Thank you. Outreach. So important. And my amazing event leads. Longer.
Yes.
I know. I mean, I was like,
Any last? Okay, now I'll cut off. Comments. Bringing us, oh my goodness. We are now into our report section. You hear reports from members of the board. This is where we will consider approving a director attendance at public meetings, public events, and public hearings to earn an official day of service. Any board members have reports they'd like to share? Yes.
I am attending the inauguration of UCSB Chancellor Asanis tomorrow morning. Really excited to get to celebrate his leadership. I am meeting with Associated Students on Friday, which is very apt timing because I want to say a big congratulations to Noah Lucan, the newly elected External Vice President for Local Affairs. You got to introduce yourself earlier, but I want to give you a shout out because I know that you have been someone that has been really engaged in Isla Vista issues over the last year. So really looking forward to our continued partnership on making Isla Vista better.
Thank you, Spencer.
All right, but yeah.
I'm also attending the Friday meeting. Yes.
Together. Yeah, well, I guess mine will be actually exactly identical to Spencer's. Because I will be tomorrow attending Chancellor Sonis's inauguration, and I'm excited to bring him into Isla Vista more, see how much engagement and participation I can get out of him. And then also, we'll see. I have big dreams. I'm also on Friday meeting with AS, and here's like the CSD-AS meeting with associated students. And again, would like to extend the congratulations for your success in your election campaign. And every time you come in here, we've enjoyed seeing you and working with you. So we are very excited to continue that into the next year and to see, I think this is a time where we're really gaining momentum to see what we can all do together in the next year. So looking forward to seeing that. Any other board comments? Okay.
Oh, and I would just be
Yes.
remiss if I didn't mention that I'll be at the town hall that we're hosting tomorrow.
Oh, yes.
Which I know will be talked about.
Everyone's gonna be there, including everyone here, be there in the square. We have some food.
A boba bar,
A bo-
stop,
Boba bar.
ice cream.
I've never experienced a
All of
boba
the
bar.
above.
Now you will.
Oh my goodness.
Good things, spread the word.
In the
Have
community
free
center,
food.
in case you get questions, it's in the community.
It's in the community center, right over there, not here, over there. Dang, a boba bar, all right, outreach, let's go. So I will see all of you there tomorrow at the budget town hall.
At 6 p.m.
At 6 p.m., yes, in that room right over there.
Sorry, is it 6 or 5:30?
6.
6
Six.
6 to 8, right?
Thank you.
6 to 8, we will all be there. Over there. Okay. No one's here, it's a square, okay.
Ooh.
Square? No.
Somebody had to do it.
What far off place are you sailing to?
You take an honorary square. You'll watch on Zoom after and stuff, all that good stuff, yeah. Okay, do we have any standing or ad hoc committee reports?
Yeah,
Finance
upcoming
Tuesday.
one,
Oh,
yeah.
Stay tuned for a finance committee report.
Is that one like the budget for next year's?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was looking at the agenda and I didn't see, the spreadsheets aren't on it yet, are they?
Correct.
Okay.
We're finishing them tomorrow.
Let's go to zero-based budgeting. All righty, we have a report from district council.
Yeah, brief report. So the two main things on my plate this week, one is working with Jonathan on options, since it came up today, options regarding the sheriff's department's lack of funding and police resources. And then the second thing is in advance of the town hall, looking at options for district funding. So.
And I sent them your analysis.
Okay, good.
Oh, yes, I liked it. Awesome, thank you for the update. Yeah. Okay, report from GM.
All right, so I think we reported it was gonna happen last time, but we had our site visit from Julie Dixon, our parking consultant. It went really well. I mean, the program's working well. She had a lot of good things to say about what we're doing, and we're getting a report soon that's kind of like recommendations and improvements sort of thing, like to our operations and such. So that's coming soon, but overall, she passed us. And we had a good meeting with the county and foot patrol to talk about, the future of parking in Isla Vista now that, the enforcement and regular compliance program is in place. So yeah, parking's going great. I don't have a number of citations for you today, but I know it's about 1,000. So, and we've maintained the 2 to 3% appeals rate. We have like 18 appeals sitting on the table right now. You guys might have seen that the street art project, which was, we were a support role there. It was Gaucho Think Tank that really did that and brought in the county public works department and brought us in. But we were happy to support that project and it looks really good. And now we have a model. I was telling them, like, now that we know what to do, now that there's a system in place, and now that we know how much one of these costs, which is like, I think 10 to 20,000 to do the whole intersection, we can now look at expanding and looking for funding for the rest of them, and we'd be happy to be a part of that, like getting more Measure 8 funds, for example. Move out is coming, so you might have seen already that our community yard sale is this Saturday at the community center and across all of IV. So let people know that they can go buy things there, and all our different move out services are rolling out over the next over the next month. One thing I'll note is that we had a coordination meeting a couple weeks ago that Jenna led between the different agencies that deal with move out. And I'll just say it's very good that we're still convening coordination meetings because you just need to keep it going. No matter how much coordination you've done, there's always more that just comes up like, oh my God, we have to fix this. So that's a good role we play, is getting everyone together and just letting them, figure things out. Sometimes we have to do nothing. We just call the meeting and then problems get fixed. Me and Maya attended me and Maya attended a meeting last Tuesday with UCSB leadership and county leadership and sheriff's office leadership about the future of policing in IV. And we put forward some of the ideas that we talked about at IV Safe, which is hiring specially trained security guards, the Guardian team, on Friday and Saturday nights, and then also having nighttime events once a week for the whole the 3 academic quarters at night on Fridays in Isla Vista. So we were very well received. I think, and we had a proof of concept. Saltopia was essentially that. And so the next meeting is in July. So it's a slower project than we thought, we had to go really fast and get something done sooner, but it's going to be maybe a little more extended. And yeah, you heard about the CLE presentations today. That big project is now done. All of our staff had a role working with some of those students and mentoring them. So we can send you the presentations. I thought they were really excellent. Like one of the students, he was using a NASA satellite to do like the tree study in Isla Vista. Really next level stuff.
Probably actually, yeah.
Right. Ariel's here. She's working on a food directory of Isla Vista. She had a great line, which is newcomer anxiety, which is something we have to deal with a lot. And so now you gave a word for it, and now we know what to say. And then June 9th, if you want to attend the County Board of Supervisors meeting, it's not like critical, but that is when they're going to be taking up our cityhood data request. So we submitted a data request that was like 25 pages long to the county of all the different departments and what they do and like what they spend in Isla Vista and whatnot. We submitted that over a month ago, but it was determined that it was a lot of work and that the Board of Supervisors would need to like authorize that work to happen since, county staff time. Obviously, we know this for our own purposes, but they're going to vote on that on June 9th. And they asked me for when we'd want the information back. And I said August would be nice. We might have to bring you back an extension to the contract with our consultant to go through December at this point. So, we hope to finish sooner than December, but just to be, not to have to do another extension. But yeah, that's what's going on with that. And retreat. We have a date, but I think we need to switch the time to 9 to 1 if that works for everybody.
That's better for me, actually.
Perfection. So we'll have retreat and then lunch. June 8th.
The Tuesday.
Yeah, before final, so.
So we're gonna make sure animals.
Yeah.
Can the owner of that invite update it?
Yeah, Sydney.
I'm working on
Okay,
it.
because I was about to do it and I realized that I don't know.
Yeah.
No, it's Monday, Judy.
And yeah, we're looking at our strategic plan update, our revenue tax discussion, budget survey results, which kind of are combined, and community relations, constituent services are like the main topics. But if you have any more, let me and your board leadership know, and we'll finalize the agenda and the content over the next 2 weeks.
Thank you, Sydney.
Yes.
Just a question on the Board of Supervisors hearing on the data request. Do we know if it's an A item or a D item?
Administrative agenda.
Okay. And have we seen a staff report yet?
Nothing.
What the recommendation is going to be?
I haven't seen anything yet.
Okay.
Would that staff report come out of county CEO or out of Supervisor Cap's office?
Probably CEO, because they're the ones who asked to make it an agenda item.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay. Well, if it's an A item, that.
They told me don't worry about it, but come to show support if you want.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good to know.
further questions before we get into closed session?
Just one thing under future agenda items is if we don't have enough things to do, we talked a little bit about the sheriff's office budget cut. And we kind of, I think, individually weighed in last time, seeing as our next board meeting is the week before the budget hearings. It might be good to have an item or a placeholder for an item about that.
Yeah, that'd be smart. And then I presume we'll get an update on our budget town hall at our next
I think at the retreat.
retreat.
Yeah, because the town hall is like kind of tied to the survey and like
Oh,
what
sure.
we're doing next. So
Sure. Sounds good.
There's 3 meetings in September on the calendar. Is that normal? The 8th, 13th, and the 22nd.
I think it's just a glitch.
Okay.
So 8th and 22nd should be
Okay.
the only 2. What was the third one?
The 13th.
Oh, yeah, that's just a glitch. That's a Sunday.
Oh, on the Google Doc calendar.
The one that's on the website.
Got it.
Yeah, we'll fix it. Yeah, it's not a calendar invite, just.
Oh, and on the 9th, I also have a final from 4 to 7,
Okay.
but I should be here by 6.
Okay.
It'd be a little embarrassing.
And we'll try to keep the 9th in general a shorter meeting since we've had you the day before already.
Okay.
So.
We move into closed session.
Think we're
Okay,
ready.
anybody on? Okay. Well, thank you everybody for coming. We adjourn right after closed session. So.
Yeah.
Nothing to stay tuned for except for tomorrow where I'll see all of you guys there at the Boba Bar, right?
Yes.
Heck, yeah. What? I don't know. You're gonna find out.
We're gonna have to find
tomorrow.
out different types of boba.
Experience with your own
Yeah,
eyeballs.
hey, if we knew, we wouldn't tell you.
So
But
what
you
can
have
we
to
do
tell
like
us.
Yeah.
Experience the wonder and joy.
Okay, only you get to volunteer.
I
feel like that might be a speech I would pay to see that.
I would.
Not a lot of money because I'm an IT.
That's a lot of money.